South Africa has gone back to the court saying that the situation brought about by the Israeli assault on Rafah and the extreme risk it poses to the very survival of Palestinians in Gaza will cause them irreparable harm. The vice chair of the international arm of the Likud party, which is the party of Benjamin Netanyahu, said, "I think we needed to invade Rafah yesterday. There are no uninvolved. We need to go in and kill and kill and kill. We need to kill them before they kill us." This, again, is another indication of genocidal intent. On May 10th, South Africa requested for the fourth time now that the International Court of Justice order a ceasefire in Gaza. Now, their first request for provisional orders led to an order by the court in January, where the court did not grant a ceasefire for reasons which we didn't know at the time, but it did order Israel to stop any genocidal acts that it may have been committing at the time and to allow in humanitarian aid. South Africa went back to the court on February 12th and March 6th, citing changing circumstances on the ground, especially the onset of famine. Now, while the February request was not granted, the March request was. The court decided that Israel didn't just have to allow in relief supplies, but it had to ensure that they got into Gaza. The court also warned that famine was no longer looming over Gaza, but that it was actually now setting in. Most important, though, from the March order was not really the order itself, it was the judge's separate opinions. From those separate opinions, we now know that the court didn't order a ceasefire because Hamas was not a party to the proceedings before the court, and the court really only has control over the state parties, which are a party to the conflict and a party to the proceedings, and that's why it could order a halt to military operations in Russia and Ukraine, but it couldn't order one here in South Africa versus Israel because Hamas was not a party to those proceedings and it was a non-state actor. We also know from the dissenting and separate opinions in that case that 7 judges disagreed with the court and said it should have ordered a halt to military operations, saying that Israel would not have been able to fulfill its obligations under the Genocide Convention without doing so and without ensuring that humanitarian aid going in. The notion, I think, behind that reasoning and that argument being that the starving of Gaza may itself be genocidal. The Somali judge Yusuf went even further, saying that the alarm has now been sounded by the court. All indicators of genocidal activities are flashing red in Gaza. So South Africa has gone back to the court saying that the situation brought about by the Israeli assault on Rafah and the extreme risk it poses to the very survival of Palestinians in Gaza will cause them irreparable harm. It has also added to its application new statements issued since their last request by Israeli statesmen. So, for instance, they say that in an interview broadcast on Israeli television on 3rd May, the vice chair of the international arm of the Likud party, which is the party of Benjamin Netanyahu, said, "I think we needed to invade Rafah yesterday, to go in and to get them. There are no uninvolved. We need to go in and kill and kill and kill. We need to kill them before they kill us." This, again, is another indication of genocidal intent. Now, on the point of genocidal intent, Nicaragua, Colombia, Libya, and Egypt have also intervened in the case in favor of South Africa. We don't have access to Egypt's application yet. It has not been uploaded by the court, but we do have those filed by other states. Now, Libya's argument I'm not very clear on. It's not very clear in their application. Colombia's is very clear. It has published a 75-page application arguing that its opinion on how the convention is to be interpreted, how the Genocide Convention is to be interpreted, should bear in mind the element of the general context in interpreting the incredibly high threshold of intent to destroy. And to buttress this, they especially highlight the importance of the report of UN Special Rapporteur for Palestine, Francesca Albanese, her report, Anatomy of a Genocide, and they highlight that to look at this general context. Now, I'm a bit unclear as to how much these interpretations are really going to help the court. South Africa, really, to its credit, is already doing a fantastic job of arguing this case. Its legal applications have all been brilliantly drafted, and just in the action of keeping on going to the court in the sense of the changing circumstances on the ground, it is perpetually highlighting the plight of the Palestinians for the court. And so just to end on the last words of their current application, which are, "We have pleaded and implored countless times. We do so once more. For the children of Rafah, we need a ceasefire now."